A number of people have asked me, Andrew, aren't you angry at God? And for me, I've never once been angry. I've never once even asked why. I'm more curious how. How did the cancer develop, right? But why is something that I've never asked. And being angry with God, why would I be? I think that his plan is so much greater than any plans of my own. And I think what I've learned is that we should choose gratitude. 3.5 years ago, my wife Josie was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer called osteosarcoma. Actually, a few years before she was diagnosed, she and I had a conversation. I think we were pregnant with our third child at the time, and life was crazy. She was traveling everywhere, I was traveling, and we just looked at each other and we were like, something's got to give. We've got all we can manage, right? So fast forward a few years down the road, now as a father of 4 kids, and Josie, unfortunately, having passed away from cancer, my attitude is, and my thought is, that there's nothing I can't do. There's nothing that I can't accomplish, certainly with the help of God. Like, she was diagnosed 3 weeks after our youngest was born. And all of a sudden, you go from the state of being overjoyed to overwhelmed. Well, you're just kind of in survival mode. So coming into this experience, I'd say that our faith was relatively strong. I mean, Josie was a convert to the faith. She converted 9 years ago when we joined St. Gabe's. And she was very much on fire for Christ. So that was something that we knew that our faith was something that we needed to lean on, to draw strength from, to prepare us for this battle. And I think for her, as she was getting chemo, which was a really intense treatment, again, she was in the hospital Monday through Thursday, almost every week, overnight. Well, it was going to Mass on Sunday that gave her the strength that she needed, knowing what was to come the following week. And so in a very literal sense, that was the highlight of every week, was getting to Mass. She never missed it once, because it was what gave her the strength that she needed. I was up in the middle of the night, changing diapers, feeding bottles to our youngest, visiting Josie in the hospital, trying to work, trying to be a dad to our other 3 kids, getting dinner on the table, carpool, all of life's daily demands and challenges. Looking back at that time, I remember both Josie and I having the conversation of choosing gratitude. In some sense, it was, wow, this is a wake-up call. And this is something that gives us perspective for the rest of our lives. And whether it's daily frustrations of traffic, or just certain things that are just out of your control, with this perspective, those sort of things just really don't matter, right? Small arguments or disagreements, right? It just doesn't matter. I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful for my kids and the gift of my family and friends, church community. Yeah, I'd give anything to have a disagreement with her again, if that meant that I could have another conversation with her. So the St. Gabriels Community, both the church and the school, were incredible during the process, whether it was carpool with the kids or whether it was having meals delivered. I think we went 7 or 8 months without having to grocery shop or to cook dinner for the kids. And that was, something routine generally, but it's amazing how something so small and so simple took a huge weight off of our shoulders and gave us some time back in our schedule to focus on spending time together as a family. I think it shows the body of Christ in action, right? Which is each one of us, and being there for each other. It was a way for us to experience Christ's love through the church.